What if some of your most ordinary habits were actually quiet signs of high intelligence? What if intelligence had less to do with grades and more to do with the way your mind naturally moves through the world? And what if the very things that make you feel different are actually proof that your brain works on a deeper level? Psychology and neuroscience suggest that higher intelligence often appears through behavior long before anyone sees it in a test score. Smart people do not always look impressive on the surface. Sometimes they just think differently in quiet ways. The first habit is overthinking, but in the smart way. Highly intelligent people often analyze situations deeply, not because they are trapped in anxiety, but because their mind naturally questions the first answer. Psychology calls this cognitive reflection, the ability to pause, examine, and think beyond the first instinct. That kind of overthinking is not weakness, it is often complex problem-solving in motion. The second habit is curiosity. Research has linked higher IQ with openness to experience, a personality trait connected to curiosity, imagination, and intellectual hunger. If you love learning random facts, exploring strange topics, or asking why things are the way they are, that may be more than distraction. It may be a sign of a highly active mind. Curiosity keeps intelligent people mentally flexible. It prevents the mind from becoming stale. That is why smart people often stay mentally younger for longer. Their brain is still reaching outward. The third habit is talking less and observing more. Highly intelligent people do not always dominate conversations. Many of them listen closely and absorb what others miss. They notice tone, logic, contradiction, emotion, and intention all at once. This kind of active observation is linked not only to intelligence, but to emotional awareness as well. The fourth habit is self-doubt, but in a healthy form. This is not insecurity. It is intellectual humility, the awareness that there's always more to understand. Studies show that highly intelligent people often doubt themselves more than average, not because they are weak, but because they can see complexity more clearly. Meanwhile, people with lower ability often overestimate themselves because they don't know enough to recognize what they are missing. The fifth habit is enjoying solitude. Many intelligent people do not recharge through constant socializing. Their brain often craves space for deeper thought. Solitude gives them room to think, reflect, create, and reconnect with their own internal world. That doesn't mean they dislike people. It means their mind is often nourished more by depth than by noise. So if you overthink productively, stay curious, observe quietly, doubt yourself sometimes, and enjoy your own company, you may not be strange at all. You may simply have a mind built for deeper processing. Because intelligence is not always loud, fast, charming, or obvious. Often it is quiet, layered, and difficult to see from the outside. That is why many smart people spend years feeling different before they realize what their habits actually mean. The clues were always there, they just looked ordinary. A reflective mind can look like overthinking, curiosity can look like distraction, humility can look like uncertainty, solitude can look like distance. But under the surface, these habits are often signs of a brain that is still reaching, still questioning, and still growing. Real intelligence is not just about having answers, it's about noticing what others miss and staying open to what you don't yet know. That is why truly smart people often remain learners for life. And that is why silence, solitude, and reflection are often not emptiness to them, they are fuel. So, if you ever felt mentally different from the people around you, that difference may carry more meaning than you thought. You may not be difficult, you may not be strange, you may simply be wired for a deeper kind of thought. And once you understand that, your habits stop feeling random and start feeling like clues. That's the power of psychology. It helps you decode behavior instead of judging it too quickly. Sometimes the people who seem the most unusual are simply the ones thinking at a level others haven't noticed yet. And sometimes the strongest signs of intelligence are the ones no one teaches you to recognize. They show up in your habits, your questions, your silence, and the way your mind keeps reaching for depth. That's how intelligence often works in real life, not as performance, but as pattern. And once you begin to see those patterns, the way you understand yourself starts to change. So, if these traits sound like you, there's a real chance your mind is operating with more depth than you realized. And that's exactly why understanding psychology matters. It reveals the truth hidden inside everyday behavior. Because once you understand how the mind works, you stop mistaking depth for strangeness. And there are many more hidden signs of intelligence that most people completely overlook. So, if this made you see your own mind differently, then it already did something valuable. Keep exploring psychology, because the smallest habits often reveal the deepest truths about who we are. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who has always felt different, because the next psychology video might explain something about their mind they've never understood before.